Yo, what up, Street Dogs? There came, all right, the turbo thought. Once you do the FIRE, right, which is financial independence, retire early, then what? So financial independence and retiring early towards what ends? So, I mean, the simple answer, I think I deduce two things. One is have children, and two is to create and make artwork and to propagate that artwork with others in society. So, and also, you know, pursuing philosophy, art, aesthetics, and so forth. Now, let's kind of break it down. So there's two things, right? So there's financial independence, and then there's retiring early. What's the difference? So financial independence, as I understand it, is embracing an ascetic lifestyle where you could do with less. And retiring early is, to me, what it means is you no longer make money getting the reason behind your existence. And realizing that it's not money that we want, but rather what we want is, you know, interaction with other humans, society, means of personal freedom to focus on our artwork. Because it's not just the time aspect. I think the big aspect when it comes to just like having personal independence is that, like, no matter what your job is, as long as you're still employed by someone else, even if you make $500,000 working a year at Amazon, Facebook, you know, Apple, any of the big time companies, as long as you're not a sole proprietor, then even during when you're about to sleep and your dreams and stuff like that and your free time, even on the weekends, you're probably going to still think about work. But so the goal then seems to be to free up as much mental mind space to just focus on your philosophical pursuits. Now, how did Eric Kim achieve FIRE? Right? You know, I think the big thing was, how's it going? In 2017, I like your truck and boats. Ooh, what's in the garage? Ooh, what is it? Oh man, that's a classic. Well, what color? Oh, that's a bad boy. Oh man, that's the one you want. That's the one you want to have sex on top of. I love it. Have a good day. Yeah. So yeah. Then what it? Then I think what it means then is, you know, to. And this is actually just like a random thing I learned. This is just me being 33 years old. You know, a lot of my friends who end up getting good ass jobs and making good money and good salaries, it actually seems like there's a downside. Hello. There's a downside to having big salaries, because once you have a good salary, there's really no impetus for you to leave. And I was even talking to my friends, Marcus and Walter in Seattle. So I'm just like, oh, you know, it's like crypto and stuff like that, pretty big in Seattle, and people say not really, because people already got good tech jobs. So if you already have a good tech job, there's almost no need to speculate in crypto or, you know, becoming financially independent or making money, because, you know, you're already getting a fat paycheck. And the downside of getting a fat paycheck is it kind of leads to stagnation and a little bit of a personal complacency. Now, it was always my life dream to become self-employed. And it's funny, like, you know, I was born in 1988, and growing up, there's no notion of startups, and even starting your own business was kind of not really as much of a thing. It seemed like the better goal was to essentially to become self-employed and to work for yourself. And so this notion of starting a startup and stuff wasn't even a concept. And so I almost feel that it perhaps is better that we go back to the roots and think more about, you know, becoming self-employed. And the notion I like about being self-employed, and there's a saying in Vietnamese, làm việc tự do, which means work freedom. Làm việc is work, tự do means freedom. And so like being self-employed is almost like, is that, oh, what's your job? I have work freedom from work, right? So it seems that what people really want is freedom. And I don't know, like I've thought about this long enough and experienced long enough. At this point, like material things or even homes and stuff don't really interest me. I'm more interested in like my physiological health, my overall well-being, having interesting experiences, making art and stuff like that. And so I almost feel that this notion of wanting financial independence and retiring early is kind of a trap, because once you get it, it's like a little bit, how do you say? You know, having financial independence and retiring early in itself is not that, like, it's not as awesome as you would think it is. Like, if anything, I've kind of realized once you have all this free time and mental space, to actually use that leisure time well is actually one of the most difficult things. And I think that's why once a lot of people retire, people end up getting depressed, or, you know, their health actually ends up being more poor because people just don't know what to do without having an identity outside of work. And so then it seems that our goal is to utilize our leisure and our odium in some sort of meaningful way. So, I mean, some simple prescriptions that I personally have is just, you know, obviously focusing on your artwork, you know, like a very simple thing, starting your own blog, using bluehost.com, installing wordpress.org, having an open source platform to share your thoughts and ideas. And it's so interesting because, like, and you know, I think you can still do business, you can still do work and sell things and sell money, you know, make money, because it becomes much more of a game and an interesting activity rather than doing it for the sake of just making money. Like, for example, one of the benefits of charging money for workshops is that it actually ends up being a filter, so everyone who attends is actually really motivated because they got skin in the game to actually, you know, work hard and push themselves out their comfort zones. Of comparing that to, you know, you as a kid going through the K through 12 education system, there's really no motivation to work hard or apply yourself because you're not paying for it. It's free. So there actually ends up being a downside to free. But anyways, yeah, so I think the best way to become financially independent is, you know, studying philosophy, stoicism, embracing a Spartan stoic lifestyle, retiring early, you know, becoming a sole proprietor, you know, starting your side hustle, whatever that may be. And actually the way I was able to do it was, you know, when I was working full time, you know, building up my blog on the side. And the simple prescription I have is at work, and it's great. Actually, it's great now that everyone's working remotely. So you could do the minimum amount of work possible for your job without getting fired and just collect your paycheck. And then while you're doing that, you could piggyback off that and leverage that, and, you know, create your own little side hustle, whatever that may be, personally for you. And then once you have the financial independence and retire early, then, you know, it does seem quite fun to help others, you know, gain their own personal freedom and to kind of pay it forward. And then, yeah, and then I think the end is philosophical introspection, arts creation, sharing, and maybe pushing the human race forward.